This is Cinderella's castle at Disney's Magic Kingdom.
And this is us, about to get married in front of it.
And that's me, calculating just how much it's costing every minute we're standing there.
There's no getting around it. Disney is expensive.
And there's no getting around it, weddings are expensive, no matter where you're going to get married.
If you're currently planning a wedding, or just overall curious about how much a Disney wedding costs, stay right there, because by the end of this video, we'll reveal exactly how much we paid for our Magic Kingdom wedding.
The amount may shock you. There's a few things to note before we jump into the actual costs of our wedding. Number one, this video is not sponsored by or endorsed by the Disney Weddings team or the Walt Disney Company.
Number two, prices at Disney fluctuate all the time. Our wedding was in October of 2023, but for the latest prices, we've included a link down below.
Keep in mind that the price of a Disney wedding can vary greatly depending on where you're having the ceremony and where you're having the reception. We obviously chose to get married inside of Magic Kingdom, but there's a multitude of options for you available at Disney.
When getting married at the theme parks, you have two options. The first is to get married super early in the morning before guests arrive, and the second option is to get married super late at night after the guests leave. We had a super early ceremony before guests arrived at the Magic Kingdom train station.
We had 2 photographers and 2 videographers.
We had our reception at Seabreeze Point on Disney's Boardwalk, which is just outside Epcot.
Our reception was brunch style, and we had an hour and a half of open bar mimosas. Woo! We did an additional add-on for a portrait session, which means our 2 photographers followed us around Disney's Hollywood Studios before any of the day guests arrived. This was an amazing experience because we got uninterrupted photos at Toy Story Land, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and one of our favorite rides, Tower of Terror.
Now that you know exactly what we did at our wedding, how much did it all cost?
Hold on to your butts. Our ceremony cost was $15,000 plus taxes. Now, yes, that is a lot to spend on a ceremony, regardless of where you get married. But to put things in perspective, if you wanted to get married at Magic Kingdom Garden Hub, it would cost $30,000 plus tax. And if you want to get married on Main Street, USA, in front of the castle, it's going to cost a whopping $40,000. So in our opinion, we saved money.
We saved $25,000.
We saved $25,000. That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Guys? Right?
One of the best things about getting married at the Magic Kingdom is the portrait session included before the ceremony. We got to go around to some of our favorite attractions like Pirates of the Caribbean, the Enchanted Tiki Room, Big Thunder Mountain, and of course taking photos in front of and behind Cinderella's castle.
So what else is included in the ceremony fee? You have your AV technicians, your seating, you have vintage vehicles taking your guests down Main Street, and you also have a string trio playing your favorite Disney songs.
Now, one thing to note is that getting married at different theme parks might include different extras. So the ones that we listed were unique to the Magic Kingdom for our ceremony. So again, click on the link below to find out what's included in different theme parks.
And keep in mind, we do not get a commission. We don't get a commission.
But Disney, if you're listening,
We'll dig deep and we will take a commission if they want. So on to photography costs. In total, we paid $4,500. This was the 2 Disney photographers we mentioned before for an 8-hour coverage. That was our portrait session before the ceremony, and our reception.
so as part of the photography cost, we opted in for an additional photo album as well as a piece of wall art. We did this because our wedding planners gave us a great tip. When you add on a portrait session plus an album plus a piece of wall art, you get an additional 20% off your entire photography cost. So this actually made our album and wall art free when you take the discounted price of our 8 hours of photography at Magic Kingdom, the portrait session, as well as the cost of the now album and wall art.
Ka-ching! If you're curious what other freebies we got during our wedding planning process and during our actual wedding, you can click the link down below. Now on to videography. We were going back and forth on videography for a while. Andy really wanted it. I thought it was overpriced. But eventually, I needed a gift for Andy. So I caved and I contacted Cinemedia. Steve, if you're watching, you are amazing. We highly recommend Steve and his team. The minimum amount that it costs to have a videographer at your wedding is $4,000. The reason ours was $4,400 is because I actually opted for the raw footage on a thumb drive so that we could then make YouTube videos like we're doing right now. I had quotes from some companies up to $8,000. It can get insane. I was against it just because of the overall cost and how much we were already spending on our Disney wedding, but I decided to eat the cost and get the videographer. And I'm so glad that we did. It was amazing. They made us feel really special. They took all the right shots. They were very prompt in getting us our videos, and we just can't thank them enough.
So if you don't know what to get as a wedding gift for your partner, our brunch cost $8,200, which is $140 per guest minimum, plus service fees, plus taxes. We had 43 guests in total. That $140 also includes the price of the open mimosa bar.
So because our wedding was so early in the morning, we knew we were going to be extremely tired. And we don't like hot coffee, to be honest. We'll drink it if it's the only thing available, but we are iced coffee drinkers. So we actually asked our wedding team how much it would cost to have cold brew on hand, and it was a bit shocking. It was $300 for cold brew. Yeah. We could have ordered everyone Starbucks lattes for the same cost. With that said, it was really nice and convenient to have it on hand, and they were actually nice enough to let us take it to go.
So every wedding has to have florals. Ours costs $2,300. When you think about a wedding, $2,300 actually is on the lower end of things. We felt like the train station was a natural backdrop for a wedding and didn't need much decor. So most of our floral budget went to our reception at Seabreeze Point, including the centerpieces for our reception.
When you get married at Disney, you do have to factor in transportation costs. For us, this was $1,400. This included a chartered bus picking up our guests and taking them to the Grand Floridian security screening and then on to Magic Kingdom. After our ceremony, they took us all to the reception at Seabreeze Point as well. The other part of that is the luxury van we rented for ourselves. So Andy and I needed a mode of transportation that was not the same as our guests, and we opted for the cheapest option available, which was the luxury van, which, spoiler alert, is just a van.
I know my way around a van. That is just a van.
But the lady driving it was super nice. We loved our experience, and I'll never forget the drive into Magic Kingdom backstage.
For a low cost of $2,800, you can have 2 characters of your choice come to your wedding for 30 minutes. We had Mickey and Donald come to ours, and it was the highlight of our wedding.
Besides getting married to me?
Second highlight of the wedding.
Okay. What's really exciting is that you actually get to pick what they wear to your wedding. So your wedding team will send you a list of what's available and you're able to pick what they wear. And then finally, there's just a few kind of fees that you have to pay for in addition to everything, which includes catering fees on top of what you're already paying and AV fees. Now, we said that the AV was actually included in the ceremony cost, but that was only in Magic Kingdom. You do have to pay an additional cost of around $1,500 for your reception as well. And note that we did not have a DJ, we did not have an MC, we did it all ourselves just on small speakers, and it went off without a hitch. I have no regrets about that. So, what was the cost of our entire wedding? We are about to show you the actual invoice, how much we paid on every line item, which we've already gone through here. We paid a whopping
$41,000.
Is that a lot? I don't know. Like, we don't know. So the thing is, we were going to get married in Toronto, which is our home city. It would have been a lot easier for people to commute, obviously, downtown. But the thing about that is, Toronto is very expensive, and to have a wedding here is very expensive. And when we started doing the numbers, just to hit minimums, we would have had to invite 150 people to our wedding. So we actually opted for a Disney wedding because it was small and intimate, because it's a place that makes us really happy. But at the end of the day, $41,000 is a lot to spend. Don't get us wrong. We are not delusional. Like I said in the intro, I was thinking the entire time how much this costs every minute that we're standing here. It's a lot. So it's about your personal situation, what you can afford, what's really important to you, and how much enjoyment will your guests get out of it. So we can't make that decision for you. We just wanted you to have the information on how much it actually costs, because when we were planning our wedding, we couldn't find this information. There were no YouTube videos about it. And I really hope that's not because Disney sues people for posting videos about their wedding. Please don't sue us. We love you. Please don't ban us.
So at the end of the day, is a Disney wedding expensive? Yes. But I'll also say that when you look at the prices of some of Disney's weddings, such as the ceremony fee, we were comparing that to ceremony fees in Toronto, which was a third of the cost. But the thing about the ceremony fees at Magic Kingdom were all the inclusions in the price. So seating, the AV fees, photography session before the park, the vehicles, the backdrop, like everything was included in that price. Whereas most wedding venues, when they quote you a price, that is literally just the price to rent the venue. So at first I had to convince Patrick to hear me out when I said that we're going to pay 3 times more for the ceremony fee. You know, all those things were included, including the wedding planner, which we didn't have to pay for ourselves. So the biggest takeaway from this is to do your homework. Disney has dozens of places to get married. We admittedly chose one of the more expensive locations to get married. So we often say, you know, Disney World is the size of San Francisco, and that means there are a ton of different ceremony and reception locations to fit all budgets.
So at the end of the day, is getting married at Walt Disney World expensive? Yes, but all weddings are expensive. Regardless of where you are in the world, it's going to cost you a lot. We are very frugal people. We did decide to go a little bit all out on our wedding, but at the end of the day, we feel like it was totally worth it. And if you are even remotely thinking about getting married at Walt Disney World, just reach out to them, let them know you're interested, and see what they say. And if you want to learn more about the process about getting married at Disney, because there are many different steps, and it was a whole year-long process, we are also including the link down below. So if you have any questions at all about what it was like to get married at Disney, specific or not, put them down in the comments. We promise to get to all of them. And please, everyone, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us grow, and we really need to afford our next Disney vacation.
Oh, if I can't see retirement, but you can say.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye.